In the world of Game of Thrones, many men wanted the Iron Throne. Some fought with swords, some used dragons, but one man used whispers, lies, and secrets. His name was Petyr Baelish. Most people knew him as Littlefinger. Littlefinger was not. Born into a powerful family, he had no army, no dragons, no big name like Lannister or Targaryen. But what he had was dangerous, a clever mind, a smooth tongue, and a plan. Now let's ask a big question. It sounds crazy. He was not next in line. He had no right to the throne, but if you know Littlefinger, you know that rules never stopped him. He always had a way to make things happen, slowly, quietly, carefully. Before we dive into the what if, we must look at the real story. We must understand who Littlefinger was, how far he got, and what he really wanted. Petyr Baelish was born in a small house in the Fingers, a cold, rocky land in the Vale. His family was poor. They were minor lords, almost forgotten. But Littlefinger grew up in a big castle, the home of House Tully. That's where he met Catelyn Stark, and that's where he fell in love with her. But Catelyn didn't love him back. She was promised to Brandon Stark, then later married Eddard Stark. This broke Peter's heart, but it also gave him something stronger than love, a desire for power. He once said, "Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder." And he meant it. Every time the realm burned, Littlefinger climbed higher. Some fans believe Littlefinger just wanted revenge. Others think he wanted to marry Sansa and rule the North. But let's think bigger. Littlefinger wanted the Iron Throne. He wanted to go from no one to king. And he was getting close. Very close. He helped start the War of the Five Kings. He helped kill Jon Arryn, the Hand of the King. He lied, tricked, and plotted, and while others were fighting on the battlefield, Littlefinger was moving pieces on a chessboard. At one point, he became Lord of Harrenhal, Master of Coin, and Lord, Protector of the Vale. That gave him armies, money, and a seat in the High Council. All he needed now was the right moment. So let's imagine a world where that moment came. Let's imagine Petyr Baelish becomes king. In our version of the story, the turning point happens during the time when Sansa is at the Vale. In the show, Littlefinger kills Lysa Arryn, lies to the Lords of the Vale, and becomes the protector of her son, Robin Arryn. He also has Sansa Stark by his side. This was a powerful moment. The Lannisters were weak. The North was in chaos. Daenerys was still across the sea, and King Tommen was just a child. Littlefinger had a window, and in this what-if story, he takes it. Instead of waiting or being careful, he makes his move. He unites the Vale and the North under Sansa's name. He marries her, maybe even pretends to be a protector of House Stark. He then uses the power of the Vale to march on King's Landing. He doesn't attack like a conqueror. He moves like a savior. He offers peace. He offers gold. He offers marriages. And behind the scenes, he poisons, bribes, and whispers, just like he always did. You might ask, why would anyone follow Littlefinger? The answer is simple. They didn't know the real him. To the people of the Vale, he was a hero. He saved Sansa. He protected young Robin. He brought order after Lysa's madness. To others, he was the man who ended chaos. And most important, he gave people what they wanted. Stability. Westeros was tired of war. Kings kept dying. Families were broken. Littlefinger offered a calm hand, or at least he pretended to. The small folk didn't care who had the blood of kings. They wanted food, peace, and safety, and Petyr Baelish knew how to speak to them. So let's say it happens. Let's say Littlefinger becomes king. What kind of king would he be? Not like Robert, not like Joffrey, not like Aegon. He would be something else. A ruler with no real claim but total control. A master of whispers. A king of secrets. The Red Keep would be full of spies. His council, filled with those he could blackmail or control. His coin, strong, because he knows how to play with debt, trade, and gold. His enemies? Removed silently. He wouldn't need dragons or armies. He would rule with fear, favor, and fake peace. But peace built on lies is never real, and in the next part, we'll see how cracks begin to show. Now that Littlefinger is king, Westeros is quiet, but not truly calm. On the outside, everything looks fine. People are no longer dying in big battles. Crops are growing again. Merchants are trading. The crown is sending out messages of peace. But under this surface, the kingdom is full of secrets. And secrets, like poison, spread slowly. Because Littlefinger built his kingdom like he lived his life. On lies, blackmail, and fear. And now, those lies are starting to catch up with him. Let's begin in the Red Keep. Queen Sansa sits beside the king. She wears fine clothes. She smiles at the court. She speaks gently to lords and ladies. But deep inside, she is not happy. Sansa knows who Peter really is. She knows how he lied, how he killed, and how he used her to take the throne. She remembers how he let her suffer under Ramsay. She remembers everything. At first, she stayed with him for power and to protect the North. But now, she sees that the man beside her is no better than Joffrey. She begins to plan, quietly, carefully. Sansa starts to speak with northern lords again, in secret letters. She builds loyalty, just like her mother once did. She promises to protect the North if they protect her. Littlefinger has spies everywhere, but Sansa is smart. She uses the same tricks he taught her to move without being seen. She is no longer the girl from Winterfell. She is becoming a player in the game. Meanwhile, outside King's Landing, old enemies begin to move. Let's look at three main threats: Daenerys, Targaryen, Jon Snow, Tyrion Lannister first. Daenerys. In this timeline, she is still across the narrow sea. She hears about the new king, a man with no noble blood, a liar, a manipulator. She doesn't care about his lies. She wants what she believes is hers, the Iron Throne. But this time, she prepares better. No sudden attack, no rushing in. She listens to Tyrion. She gathers alliances. She reaches out to Dorne and the Reach, both angry about how the wars ended. She even begins talks with the Iron Bank, because if there's one thing the bank hates, it's unstable kings. Second, Jon Snow. In this version, Jon is not killed at Castle Black. He is still Lord Commander. But now, he hears that Littlefinger, the man who helped destroy the Starks, is ruling with Sansa as his queen. Jon is torn. He wants to protect his sister, but he also remembers how Baelish betrayed Ned Stark. Jon begins to consider something dangerous: marching south, not for revenge, but to remove a man he cannot trust. Third, Tyrion. After fleeing Westeros, Tyrion joins Daenerys early. When he hears that the man who framed him, who helped kill his father, is now king, he sees a chance. Tyrion knows how Littlefinger thinks. He understands politics, and now, with Dany's dragons and his mind, he begins to plan Littlefinger's fall. Back in the north, strange things are happening. Bran Stark has returned, but he is not the boy they knew. He is now the three-eyed raven. He sees visions of the past and the future. He knows what Littlefinger did. He tells Arya, and Arya does not forgive. She remembers how he turned them all against each other, how he fed lies to Lysa Arryn, how he caused the War of the Five Kings. The Stark children now have something they never had before: unity. Bran, Arya, and Sansa begin to work together again. Slowly they prepare a message for the realm, a message that will shake the Red Keep. In King's Landing, things are not as perfect as they seem. People begin to ask questions. Why are taxes so high? Why are some lords going missing? Why is the Queen always so quiet? Littlefinger tries to control the whispers, but even he can't stop all of them. Some say the king had the Tyrells poisoned, some say he stole the crown, some say he has a secret list of enemies to be killed. And then a letter leaks from the north, signed by Sansa Stark. It says, "The man who calls himself king is not a son of Westeros, but a shadow who used chaos to climb. I do not rule with him, I do not love him, and I will not remain silent." The court is shaken, the people are confused, and Littlefinger, he is furious. Littlefinger always said chaos was a ladder, but now he is standing at the top, and the ladder is shaking. He looks around the court and sees fewer allies. Some lords are leaving early, some whisper behind hands, and some begin to look at Sansa with pity or hope, because maybe, just maybe, she is the true power. Littlefinger tightens his grip. He sends spies. He closes gates, he increases guards, but the more he squeezes, the more people slip through his fingers. Sansa is not the only one plotting now. Enemies are coming from all sides, from the north, from the sea, and from the shadows. And very soon, King Peter Baelish will learn, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. Now King Littlefinger sits uneasy on the Iron Throne. He wears the crown, he rules the land. But he knows what others don't. His kingdom is a castle of cards. And Sansa Stark, the woman by his side, is quietly taking those cards down, one by one. He thinks he's still in control, but Sansa is already fighting her own war, not with swords, with truth. And she's winning. Sansa has always been careful. She learned to survive in King's Landing by watching, listening, and staying quiet. But now, she's doing something else. She's acting. She secretly speaks to Ser Davos, who now serves in the north. She sends ravens to Lady Brienne, who still trusts her deeply. She writes letters to houses in the Vale, the North, and the Riverlands. Not grand speeches, not big promises, just one simple truth. The man on the throne killed your peace. The North remembers, and people begin to believe her. They know her as a survivor. They know her as a Stark, and many still remember how Littlefinger played them all. Back in the Red Keep, Littlefinger begins to notice changes. His spies say Sansa's handmaidens are asking questions. His gold cloaks say a raven came from White Harbor. His servants say Sansa is often alone in the Godswood. At first, he trusts her. Then, he starts watching her. He asks the Master of Whispers to check her chambers. He listens to her footsteps in the halls. He even tests her loyalty with lies, but Sansa gives nothing away. She smiles, she speaks gently. She plays the same game he once taught her. Littlefinger begins to doubt and fear the woman he once thought he controlled. In the shadows of King's Landing, a ghost moves through the streets. She is small, quiet, deadly. It is Arya Stark. She comes with no banners, no letters, no soldiers, only names, and Littlefinger's name is near the top. Arya doesn't trust politics. She doesn't wait for justice. She makes her own, but this time Sansa stops her. "Not yet," she says. "Let him fall in front of the realm." Arya listens, not because she fears Sansa, but because she respects her. Together, the Stark sisters are preparing something bigger than a knife in the dark. They are preparing the truth. Far away, across the narrow sea, another storm is rising. Daenerys Targaryen has crossed the sea with her army, and now she is not alone. With Tyrion Lannister, clever and calm, Varys, the master of secrets, the unsullied, fearless warriors, and 2 dragons. She does not come to burn everything. Not yet. She comes with a plan. She tells the people, "I will not take the throne with fear. I will earn it with justice." Her army lands in Dragonstone, and she sends ravens to every major house, to the north, to the Vale, even to King's Landing. Each letter says one thing. Westeros was built by dragons. Now it will be healed by one. Littlefinger receives the message. He laughs at first, but inside he is not laughing. He knows that dragons are not just fire. They are a symbol that his lies may soon burn. As Daenerys gains support in the south, Sansa gains it in the north. House Manderley, House Glover, House Royce all start to distance themselves from the crown. Quietly, they stop sending gold. They stop replying to King's letters. Some even begin calling Sansa the true queen in the north. In the council chamber, Littlefinger starts losing his calm. He demands loyalty. He orders spies to be hanged. He speaks longer at meetings, hoping to control the story. But lords are tired of talk. They want action. And Littlefinger, for all his tricks, was never a warrior. While the lords talk and armies move, a quiet plan is happening inside the Red Keep. One night, in the old library, Bran Stark arrives. His face is calm. His eyes look far away. Sansa is there. Arya is there, and they show him the letters from Littlefinger written years ago, notes that helped start the war, words that turned the Starks against each other. Bran adds one final truth: he betrayed our father. He started it all. And just like that, the final piece is ready. The plan is in motion. In the capital, the people whisper again. Some say, the queen looks stronger now. Some say the king is more alone. Others speak of a dragon queen, marching closer by the day. Littlefinger feels it, the cold eyes, the long silences, the missing reports. He knows the game is turning against him, but he will not go down easy. He begins to prepare one last move, a bold one that could wipe away the Starks, Daenerys, and even the lords who whisper behind his back, because when a man like Littlefinger is cornered, he bites. King Petyr Baelish, once the master of whispers, now ruler of the Seven Kingdoms, is losing control, not by war, not by swords, but by silence. The silence of old friends turning away, the silence of lords ignoring his letters, the silence in his council chamber. And in that silence, fear grows, because Littlefinger knows better than anyone. When people stop speaking to you, they've already started speaking about you. Littlefinger is cornered, but he's not finished. He survived. Worse before, when nobles laughed at him, when lords refused to marry their daughters to him, when he had nothing but words. This time, he won't wait to be pushed. He'll strike first. He secretly calls for House Frey. Though weaker now, they still owe him favors. He promises them titles and land if they help protect the Riverlands. He sends gold to assassins in Braavos, hoping to weaken Daenerys before she arrives. And most of all, he watches Sansa. He suspects her now, fully, but he still needs her. She is the key to the north, so he smiles. He plays the loving king, but inside he is preparing a cage. And Sansa will be in it. But Sansa is not blind. She knows the look in Littlefinger's eyes. She's seen it before, right before he betrayed someone. So she moves fast. She sends Arya to the north with Bran's proof, letters, visions, names. She tells the lords, if I disappear, if I die, you know who did it. Then in front of the royal court she does something bold. She requests a public hearing, a trial, not for herself, for Petyr Baelish. The court is stunned. Littlefinger laughs. On what charge? He asks, and then Bran speaks. In his quiet voice, he says, you sold my aunt to the Boltons. You lied to the Vale. You caused the war. You betrayed my father. The room falls silent. Littlefinger tries to speak. But Arya steps forward, and everyone remembers who she is. The room belongs to the Starks now. News spreads fast. Some call it a coup, others call it justice, but no one mourns the fall of Littlefinger. In our timeline, Arya kills him quietly. But here, he is still king, so Sansa does not kill him, yet she strips him of power first. The lords of the Vale remove him as protector. The North cuts ties with the throne. The Riverlands send no more food or men. Even the Iron Bank stops answering his letters. Suddenly, The king sits in a castle full of silence. No allies, no coin, no trust. He still wears the crown, but no one listens. As the north and riverlands break free, a new power arrives from the sea. Daenerys Targaryen lands at King's Landing, not with fire but with fear. People know her name. They've heard the dragons. They've seen her banners. Tyrion speaks for her. She is not here to burn cities. She is here to end false kings. And this time the people don't resist. They cheer because they're tired of lies. They're tired of whispers. They want something real, even if it comes on dragon wings. Littlefinger watches from the Red Keep as the crowds chant, "Queen Daenerys." He realizes his greatest weapon, chaos, no longer works, because this time the chaos is against him. With his power fading, Littlefinger tries one final move. He meets secretly with Cersei Lannister. Yes, in this timeline, she's still alive, still dangerous, still bitter. He offers her something no one else can, Sansa Stark's life. "Give me your army," he says, "and I will give you the north." Cersei considers it. She hates Daenerys. She hates the Starks, but she doesn't trust Littlefinger. No one does anymore. Still, she agrees, on one condition: bring me her head first. And with that, Littlefinger prepares for his final betrayal. But again, he underestimates her. Sansa has watched him for years. She knows how he moves, and this time she's already planted a trap. She sends a false message that she'll be alone in the Godswood at night. Littlefinger arrives. He brings a blade and guards, but he is not alone. Brienne is there, Arya is there, and Sansa steps from the shadows. "You taught me many things," she says, "but you forgot one. The North remembers." Littlefinger tries to explain. He begs, but no one listens. In the throne room, Sansa does not kill him herself. She lets the realm decide. Lords from all over gather. Bran speaks again, showing visions of what Littlefinger did. Arya lays out the murders. Tyrion names the betrayals, and the verdict is clear. Petyr Baelish, you are no king. You are a traitor. He is stripped of his crown, and this time there is no escape. As he is led away, he mutters, "I did everything for love." But Sansa simply says, "You don't understand love, only power." With Littlefinger gone, the Iron Throne is empty once again. For a moment, it seems like peace might return. But peace in Westeros never comes easy. Now, there are two powerful women with claims to rule. Daenerys Targaryen, the Dragon Queen, born of royal blood; Sansa Stark, the Queen in the North, chosen by her people. And both are strong, both are smart, but both cannot sit on the same throne. After the fall of Littlefinger, the people of King's Landing feel something they haven't felt in a long time. Hope, no more lies, no more cruel kings. Daenerys walks the streets with Tyrion and Grey Worm. She speaks to bakers, farmers, and soldiers. She talks about rebuilding, feeding the poor, healing the realm. People begin to cheer for her. She does not take the throne by force. She lets the people offer it, and they do. She is crowned with no blood, no war, just trust. But in the North, things are different. Sansa returns home. The lords of the North gather in Winterfell's great hall, and for the first time in history, they crown a queen. The North is free. The North is proud, and the North bows to no one. They chant her name, Queen Sansa. Now Westeros is split in two. The South belongs to Daenerys, the North belongs to Sansa. At first they send friendly messages, letters full of respect and honor, but slowly cracks begin to form. Daenerys wants unity, Sansa wants independence. Daenerys believes in one realm, under one ruler. Sansa believes in freedom for her people, and slowly, letters turn cold. While the Queens rule, a new figure steps into the light, Jon Snow. He returns from the wall after hearing of Littlefinger's fall and the rise of both queens, and he is not happy. He loves Sansa like a sister. He respects Daenerys like a queen, but he sees danger in both. He visits Winterfell first. He sees the North strong and free. But he also sees the cost. The North is now alone, surrounded. He then travels south to Dragonstone. He speaks with Daenerys, Tyrion and Varys. He hears their plans and their fears about the North. And then Jon makes a bold move. Let me be the bridge. Let me stop the next war before it starts. While Jon moves between the queens, Bran reveals a secret that changes everything. Jon Snow is not the son of Ned Stark. He is the son of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen. He is the true heir to the Iron Throne. Daenerys hears this and freezes. She trusted Jon. She believed she was the last Targaryen. But now the man she admired, maybe even loved, has a better claim. Sansa hears it too. She's proud of Jon, but she also knows what this means. If Jon claims the throne, he could unite the realm, but if he does nothing, a war might come. Again, in the markets and halls, people talk. Did you hear? Jon Snow is a Targaryen. He's a Stark too. He could be the king. He doesn't want it. That's why he deserves it. Jon tries to stay quiet. He never wanted a crown, never wanted power, but sometimes power chooses you, and now everyone is watching him. Daenerys, Sansa, the lords, the people, even the dragons. Daenerys tries to stay calm. She still believes she is the best ruler for Westeros. She has experience. She ended slavery. She brought peace to King's Landing. But inside, a fire is growing. She sees Jon speaking to crowds. She sees lords writing to him. She remembers how her own family was betrayed, how power slipped from their hands, and slowly doubt turns to fear, fear turns to anger, and anger in Daenerys is dangerous. Back in Winterfell, Sansa hears whispers from the south. Daenerys may force the North to kneel. She says the Seven Kingdoms must be united again. Sansa does not bend. She gathers her bannermen. She strengthens the walls. She calls on the Vale again, and she sends one message back. If the Dragon Queen comes for the North, she will find wolves waiting. The words are clear. The North will not kneel again. Now the stage is set. Jon Snow, the true heir, stands in the middle. Sansa, Queen in the North, refuses to bow. Daenerys, Queen of the South, refuses to let the kingdom break. And behind each of them are armies, dragons, secrets, and fear. For now, they wait, but waiting only lasts so long in Westeros. Part 6. A Storm of Crowns. The tension in Westeros is thicker than ever. Three great names now stand at the edge of war: Daenerys Targaryen, Queen of the South, Mother of Dragons; Sansa Stark, Queen. In the North, the wolf who waited, and Jon Snow, the man caught in between, the true heir to the Iron Throne. They have not drawn swords yet, but their choices are weapons, their words are arrows, and soon someone will fire the first shot. Jon knows what's coming. If nothing is done, thousands will die. He cannot let that happen. So he sends messages to both queens, a summit, a final meeting, at Dragonstone, the ancient seat of House Targaryen. Daenerys agrees, Sansa agrees, but both come with guards. Dragons dot tension. The three leaders meet in the great hall. Stone walls, cold air, eyes that do not blink. Jon speaks first. "We all lost too much in the last war. If we fight again, we lose everything." Daenerys looks at Sansa. "There cannot be peace without unity." "You know this," Sansa answers. "Unity is not the same as control." The room goes silent. Then Jon says the hardest thing he's ever had to say: "I will not take the throne." Everyone is stunned. Tyrion, Davos, Grey Worm, Arya, even Daenerys and Sansa. Jon steps forward. "I was born with a claim, but I never wanted a crown. I want peace." He pulls out 2 scrolls, signed by lords from all over. "The realm will accept both of you, if you accept each other." He points to a map. The north stays free, ruled by Queen Sansa. The south stays whole, ruled by Queen Daenerys. No more Iron Throne, no more one ruler, two kingdoms, two queens, one peace pact. And at the bottom, Jon Snow, sworn neutral. Warden of the Wall, he's giving up everything because Jon is tired of war. Daenerys listens. She looks at the scrolls. She sees her name next to Sansa's. Two queens, two kingdoms, but no Iron Throne. That part stings. Her whole life she believed in one thing: it is my destiny to rule all of Westeros. She looks out the window. Her dragons circle the sky. Her people cheer her name. She has the power to say no, to march north, to take it all. But then she looks at Jon, and she sees someone who gave up everything for everyone. And finally, she nods. That day, a new history begins. The Pact of Dragonstone is written. The north remains free, the south is ruled by House Targaryen. Trade opens, roads are repaired, war stops. Jon Snow returns to the Wall, alone but respected. Arya sails west, searching for the unknown. Bran remains in Winterfell, the new keeper of memory. Tyrion becomes Hand of the Queen. Davos serves both realms as messenger and builder. Two crowns, two queens, and for the first time in years, no war. The people rejoice. They cheer Daenerys in the south. They honor Sansa in the north. Two women who stood their ground, who did not let blood decide everything, who ruled not by fear, but by strength and sense. Bridges are built, markets open, walls are rebuilt, not to divide, but to protect. It's not perfect. Some still whisper, some still scheme. But Westeros is healing, and that is something no king ever gave them. Far in the cold lands, Jon walks the wall again. The wind bites harder now, but his heart is lighter. He sees wildlings building new homes, children playing, no crown, no throne, just peace. He smiles, because sometimes the best rulers are the ones who never ruled at all. This was not the song of fire and blood we expected. It was something else, a story of hard choices, of broken dreams rebuilt, of a spider who once ruled but fell, and of queens who rose without needing dragons to burn everything down, because in the end, power means nothing if it brings only war, and sometimes the true victory is knowing when to let go. Peace has come to Westeros, two queens rule. No one sits on the Iron Throne, because the Iron Throne no longer exists. Daenerys had it melted down. She said it caused too much pain, too many lies. Now there's balance. Queen Daenerys rules the south from Dragonstone. Queen Sansa rules the north from Winterfell, and Jon Snow watches over the Wall, away from power but not forgotten. But even after peace, shadows still remain. Because in Westeros, peace is never simple. Not everyone was happy with the Pact of Dragonstone. In the shadows of King's Landing, small pockets of loyalists still whisper about the true king. Some nobles say the realm should never have split. They speak of old traditions, strong rule and firepower. A few even wish Littlefinger was still alive, not because they liked him, but because they liked how he made others fear him. Daenerys keeps order with help from Tyrion, Grey Worm, and her advisors. But she knows that if these whispers grow louder, the realm could split again. So, she does something bold. She invites Sansa to King's Landing for a summit of unity. Sansa arrives with a small group, Arya, Brienne, and Northern Lords. Daenerys welcomes her with respect. There is no crown war this time. Just two queens, sitting side by side, talking about trade, roads, schools, and defense. Because while peace rules now, both women know danger could come again. They speak openly. They agree to a joint army, not for war, but for defense of all people. They agree to protect each other's borders, and for the first time, they even laugh together. After the summit, Arya pulls Sansa aside. "You trust too easily." Sansa replies, "I trust no one, but I give peace a chance, until it breaks." Arya nods, but she doesn't stay. She's restless. She wants more than castles and politics. So once again, she sails west, into the unknown, this time not for revenge, but for discovery, a new world, far from the shadows of kings and queens. Back in Winterfell, Bran watches the future. He no longer speaks much, he listens, he watches, and in one vision he sees a banner with a lion, old gold. Crimson red, House Lannister. They should have been gone, but some lions still prowl. In the west, a cousin of Jaime and Cersei, Sir Tybolt Lannister, begins gathering men. He tells stories of glory, honor, and the shameful rule of queens. He wants the throne back, not for peace, but for pride. Far in the north, Jon receives a letter. It bears no name, only a symbol, a lion's paw. Inside, 3 words, "You are next." Jon says nothing, but that night he tightens his sword belt. He tells the wildlings to prepare, because once again, Westeros may need a guardian. Tyrion, still Hand of the Queen, drinks less these days, but his mind is sharp. He sees the signs. Secret meetings in the west, missing gold from Casterly Rock, reports of banners being raised at night. He tells Daenerys, "The game never ends. You just change the players." Daenerys sighs. "Then we play smarter." In the north, Sansa receives word of Lannister movement. She remembers what they did to her family, but she does not panic. She gathers her council. She strengthens her walls. She trains her soldiers, men and women side by side, and she sends just one message to Dragonstone: if the lions come north, they will meet the wolves. Peace still holds, but it's fragile like glass under pressure. The people live better now. They have food, homes, and safety, but in the shadows, old names stir. Some men cannot accept a world ruled by women. Some men want glory, and others just want war, because that's all they understand. And in this land, one mistake, one blade, one spark could start it all again. Westeros is holding its breath. The kingdom is split in 2, but peaceful. Queen Daenerys rules the south. Queen Sansa rules the north. Jon Snow watches from the wall. Arya sails beyond the maps. But beneath this fragile peace, something dangerous is growing. Old names, old grudges, and one last player who wants to change the board. In the west, the Lannister banner rises again. Sir Tybolt Lannister, cousin to Jaime and Cersei, has built his power slowly. He's not loud, he's not foolish, he's dangerous. He tells the people, Westeros was once strong. Now we have 2 queens. What next? 5? 10? He speaks to fear, to pride, to men who miss being in charge, and they follow him. By the time Daenerys and Sansa receive news, Tybolt has built an army. He moves fast, smart, deadly. Daenerys and Sansa know what must be done. They meet once more, this time at River Run, a place between north and south. No politics, no crowns, just truth. Sansa says, "He'll come for us both. We stand or we fall, together." Daenerys replies, "Let the lions come. We'll remind them what wolves and dragons can do." They join forces. 1 army, 2 queens. No mercy. Jon had promised to stay out of the game, but when he hears the Lannisters are marching, he comes back. He rides south, not as a king, not as a lord, just as Jon. But when the soldiers see him, they cheer. The White Wolf returns. Sansa sees him and smiles. Daenerys sees him and nods, and Jon, as always, gets ready to fight. It comes fast. The Lannisters attack in the night, flaming arrows, broken gates, steel against steel, but they are not ready for what meets them. Arya returns from the shadows, blade in hand. Brienne leads the charge, unbreakable. Grey Worm fights like a storm. Jon Snow holds the line with northern soldiers, and Drogon, Daenerys' last dragon, flies once more, roaring fire into the sky. The lions are brave, but they fall. Not to fear, but to unity. Because this time, Westeros is not fighting itself, it is fighting for itself. After the battle, Sir Tybolt is brought. In chains, he says nothing, because he knows it's over. This time, No throne is taken, no kingdom falls, because the realm is not ruled by one crown anymore. It's ruled by trust, balance. Two queens who stood when kings fell. Years pass. The roads are safe. The harvests are good. Children no longer fear dragons. They tell stories about them. In the north, Sansa becomes one of the longest rulers in its history. She is known as Sansa the Steady. In the south, Daenerys leads until she steps down willingly, the first Targaryen to do so. She chooses a council to rule after her. No more single rulers. Jon stays at the wall. Old now, quiet, at peace. Arya sends letters from distant islands. New maps, new names, new beginnings. And Westeros finally learns the Game of Thrones is not won by fire or blood. It ends when people stop playing. It all began with one man, Petyr Baelish, Littlefinger. A man who used lies, secrets and chaos to climb. He wore the crown for a moment, but he never understood that ruling a kingdom is not the same as playing a game. In the end, it wasn't chaos that built Westeros. It was courage, wisdom, and truth. The ladder fell. The throne melted, but the people rose, and that's how Westeros found its peace.